Ramana Maharshi's wisdom shines in talks with Sri Ramana Maharshi. This Ramana clip is from a longer video by me, Richard Clarke, as I comment. YouTube subtitles, their closed captions, are good. Turn them on and read along. So, this discussion with the professor, a longtime practitioner of meditation, begins. I feel sometimes that Bhuma, the supreme consciousness, is infinitude and that I am finite consciousness. Is that correct? And the Maharshi says, Bhuma, perfection alone is. It is infinite. There arises from it this finite consciousness taking on an upadhi. This is abhasa, or reflection. Merge this individual consciousness into the supreme one. That is what should be done. So the professor says that at times in his meditation, he feels that the higher power, he calls it Bhuma, the supreme consciousness, is the vast, unlimited awareness, while also identifying himself as the finite consciousness. He makes this difference between himself and the higher power, the absolute consciousness. Ramana replies, cutting these ideas at the root, saying the higher power, the absolute consciousness alone is. This is the heart of Advaita Vedanta, the teaching of non-duality. Since absolute consciousness alone is, where is the room for anything else or anything other than absolute consciousness? Ramana declares no difference. Advaita declares no difference. And the learned professor starts his dialogue stating the difference he sees between himself and the absolute consciousness. So Ramana starts with breaking up this idea of difference, saying, Bhuma, perfection alone is. There arises from this finite consciousness taking on an upadhi. This is abhasa, or reflection. Ramana says that in the infinite there arises something that seems to be finite. He doesn't explain how the finite rises. I've heard this described using whirlpools or vortexes or waves in the ocean as analogies. The finite rises as a reflection of the infinite. It is not infinite, but rather a limited reflection of it. It has no consciousness inherent to it. It just borrows a limited consciousness within the infinite consciousness. The concept of upadhi is fundamental to Advaita. It means superimposition or limitation. It can mean appearance. An example is a crystal that appears blue when placed on a blue cloth. Another example is the reflected image of the sun that expands when the surface of the water expands and contracts when the water shrinks. It shakes when the water is agitated. It gets divided and seems like many suns when the water is divided. It participates in the qualities and conditions of the water, while the real sun is unchanging throughout. Consciousness, through the upadhi of the mind, takes on the appearance of the mind. So when the mind is agitated, consciousness seems as if agitated. When the mind is quiet, consciousness is clear. This is the basis for so much spiritual practice to quiet the mind and experience directly the clear consciousness as it is, without upadhis. These videos help bring Ramana Maharshi's teachings into your direct experience. Subscribe now to help you deepen your understanding and practice to know the self. Just click the subscribe button.